Hello, World Wide Web. Welcome back to the Hangin' With Web Show. I'm GW Pomacher. Thanks for logging on and tuning in. If you haven't already, go on down for us and hit subscribe. Come back over and over and over again. Check out some amazing artists, authors, filmmakers, creators of all kinds here on the Hangin' With Web Show. Check out our description for information about our guests and our partners. We're in the studio tonight, and via Skype, we are hanging with makeup artist Stephen Lynch. Y'all may not know his face, but you know his faces. Many faces that are Stephen Lynch's from Queer as Folk, Haven, Orphan Black. Stephen, thanks for hanging with us, man.
So happy to be here.
Man, fantastic. Well, you know, we talk a lot on the show about our creative people, our creators that we talk to, from authors and artists and everybody else. Sometimes we forget about all the creativity that goes into the production, whether it be the editors and their creativeness on it with an author, or whether it be the producers and the filmmakers and the guys like you who are doing the makeup on a film set. So this was kind of exciting for us because, first of all, the entire house here, Orphan Black fanatics. So, really? Yes, you are amazing, and your makeup and her acting means that there are 12 people on that at all times, even if she's the only one there. So you do great. It's awesome. So tell us, what is it like to be the key makeup artist on some of these productions, man?
Well, I've got to say, without disparaging other projects that I've done, so much more exciting. Come on, imagine my day. It's an early one usually, or sometimes by Friday a very late one. But I grab my coffee and scoot over to the studio to hang out with Tatiana Maslany for 45 minutes every morning.
Boy, it sucks to be you. I mean, I'm telling you. Put his schedule on my schedule, girls.
Well, you know, and then we get going. We either chat or we don't, depending on, you know, how intense the scene that she's about to do is. Mm-hmm. We've had a million laughs over the show. We've actually, very corny stuff, we've actually hugged, we've actually cried together, and especially recently, as things wound down, I still think about this every day, and then I get to take care of her all day in terms of making her look fresh or making her look wounded or teary or manic or whatever, but it's a pretty good day.
So now, you have to make her look, like you said, fresh or bloody or tired or haggard or whatever she is. And oftentimes, from our perspective, for 43 minutes, she's 6 different people, man. So, what would you say is the most hectic day? How many characters? How much of Clone Club do you have to work on, maybe during the course of like your most hectic day? Mid-season, it's crazy, and how many clones in a day?
Well, actually, I think we got it down. I think they got the schedule down so that she was doing usually no more than 2, but sometimes 3.
Uh-huh.
But because it's sort of more a finely tuned machine by year 5, by season 5, they try to make it as easy on her as is possible, given what she has to do. So usually 2 a day.
That's not, yeah, but it's still, they're very distinct looks. So you're a very busy person. You're creating in one moment a Sarah, and the next moment, you know, an Allison. And although to the naked eye and to our eye, the differences are subtle, to you, that's got to be like a, you know, it's like painting a new canvas.
Exactly, and you shake it off, and you go into the next one. But I keep saying, what is that compared to what she's preparing in her mind? You know.
Yeah.
For me, it's intense, and it's creative. It's fun. I mean, I can't pretend it's not. Every minute is fun, I've got to say. unless we're doing something really difficult, and I have to watch one of our beloved clones suffer, you know, and believe me, there are times on that set when all of the crew is obviously dead quiet, but so in the moment. And I have to say, this season, you're going to see that. I've been texting. I do very little of that because I have to be careful I never give anything away. I texted a couple of times this season to my friends that I said I am forever grateful that I get to see this caliber of acting right in front of me every day. And it's not necessarily what your job will always be. Mm-hmm. You know, this is a different animal, and these are different animals entirely.
Well, what drew you to becoming a makeup artist? What drew you to this art form?
Got tired of university. Got tired of working in a bar, you know, being a bartender. No, I had some aptitude for art and art classes, etc. in high school, like so many people. I've been a movie fanatic and a television fanatic since I could glue my eyes to the screen. And finally, it hit me. I thought, I could paint faces. What if I did it for television? So really, it took me, I think, 30 years to figure that out. And then
good. I don't feel so bad because we just started the show a year ago, and I'm in my frustration. So I'm glad that I'm not the only one that waited until midlife to figure out what he wanted to be.
You found yourself. I'm very glad. You might. I don't know if you can see what's behind me.
I see that. That's gorgeous.
It's pretty great. It's a sort of. I won't reveal much about it, but we can see that it's Rachel. It's sort of a Warhol or comic book inspired Rachel, and I thought that might be of interest. That is now.
That might be of interest. The girls are jealous because they can't actually see the computer as well as me. I do notice there's only one. It's distinct about Rachel here is there's two really good eyes in your.
Yes, hopefully it's a little younger, but yeah. I'll give you a little view of that,
wow.
And that's a mother of a piece. That weighed about 275 pounds. Getting it in here was not easy, but I was determined.
Wow, that's amazing. Now I understand also, in addition to being an artist and a makeup artist, you actually teach this art at CMU, College of Makeup and Design. I guess you're teaching young makeup artists how to do this art.
That's true, and it's nice. You know, you hear all of the cliches. It's nice to get back. There are a million things to discover about yourself when you're teaching. For instance, how difficult it is, how maybe you're not suited to it at the beginning. And then I began to get on a bit of a roll, and I thought, I think I can make this interesting as well. God knows I have stories, so I tend to entertain my students, maybe more than I should, but it keeps their interest. And as a matter of fact, one graduate was my assistant for the first 4 years, young woman named Kristen Wayne. And this season, I was able to get one of my students, and she is my first assistant on season 5, and her name is Emily O'Quinn.
Wow.
I'm so proud of them. And I think a pretty good gig for a young woman right out of school, you know.
Absolutely, and exciting. And I mean, it's a high profile show. It's a hugely popular hit, and there she is right in the middle of it. And go to work now. Take all those things I just taught you and work it in.
Exactly, and I had confidence in them both, and they completely killed it. But I think that's pretty great. Again, as you say, on a resume, that's going to look pretty good. So I have to figure out how to keep them for the rest of my life and keep them down just a little bit.
Just never quite. Yeah, I know. As I told you before we started taping, my sister co-hosts the show for me, doing interviews from upstate New York. And I keep giving her advice that's not good because I don't want somebody to come in and steal her away. So when she does a really good interview, I call her on the phone and say, geez, I just can't use that at all. I understand, by the way, congratulations. I understand congratulations are in order. 2016 Canadian Screen Guild Award for Best Achievement in Television.
Yeah, pretty sweet.
That's really good stuff, man.
And first nomination, I have to tell you. I'm not saying what they didn't like about seasons 1 to 3. I'm not bitter. I'm just...
bitter party of 3 now, because Stephanie and I had this conversation before, too.
Yeah, it was a pretty sweet night. It felt wonderful. You know, every cliche has been said, but again, I go to work on Orphan Black. I work on Tatiana Maslany's space. I get to laugh with her and cry with her, and then on top of it, you get a statuette and a citation, and it's televised. Yeah, this is as good as it gets. I should be careful. There's going to be a bolt of lightning will come through here.
Someone told me years ago, the luckiest person in the world is the person that finds what they're passionate about, what they love to do, and then finds some fool crazy enough to pay him to do it. And God bless you. You've really done that. That's what we do here is all about sharing that with our audience, young artists, young talent of all kinds, telling them create, aspire, and inspire the next group to do the same thing.
Well, I applaud you for what you do. What you're doing is great.
It is. I love to do it. I get to meet really cool people. You know, it was funny. I told you my text. I'm one of those geeks that sticks around at the end of the credits. I know everybody's name. Or if I don't know your name, I recognize it when it rings a bell because I've seen it in the role. And so when Stephanie said, "Would you like to interview Steven?" And I kind of texted back, "Duh. Did you have to ask the question, or could you just have set up the Skype call for me?"
We're going to say, "Who the hell is that?" From watching television again, I watched religiously a show here called SCTV. I don't know if you know what that was.
I do, yes, sir.
With Second City Television with Andrea Martin and Catherine O'Hara and John Candy and Rick Moranis and et cetera, Eugene Levy. And I watched the credits on that, and I watched the painted faces, and I said, that's what I'm going to do one day. Who's that woman? And I went out and found her. And her name is Beverly Sheckman, and she is a brilliant makeup artist. She turned John Candy into Divine. She turned Catherine O'Hara into Elizabeth Taylor. You know, it was, and I thought, I don't know how they do this. I have to find out, and that's what I want to do. I knew like that. Searched her out. Luckily, it was in Toronto. Found her. Luckily, also, she turned out to be the most generous human being I'd ever met, and it just proved to me the biggest person in the industry. Not selfish, not threatened, but completely giving and open. She lent me things and gave me things and had me to her home. You know,
wow.
So
it is. We've been fortunate in 18 months that since we've been more. I'm an author myself, a very solitary part of the industry. So doing the show, we've got to meet a lot more people. And one of the things we found is that our arts community is one of the most open and inviting communities we've ever known. And we've been. It's amazing.
I think people are wrong when people are this or that or negative, all sorts of negative things I hear. I think this has not been my experience at all. Not at all. I've been very fortunate.
No, we've been blessed to do everything. Well, we like to have a little fun on the show. It's Hang With. We like to know about the stuff that you've done in the makeup work that you're doing, but we want an audience that's not used to getting to talk to you directly to get to know you a little bit. So this is the part of our show we call clickbait. And if you're familiar with the internet, you know clickbait are those headlines that you just can't not click on, and the story is almost never what you think it's going to be. So I sent the girls out to find me some absolutely ludicrous questions on the internet, and then I ask you, and your real life answer is going to give me the headline that makes me a YouTube superstar, and your face, not your makeup face, but your face will be an internet sensation by morning.
Terrifying.
That's okay, it never works, but we try. Okay, so, all right. Okay, I always love this one because people's answers are so much fun. If you had to fill a pool with anything except for water, what would it be?
Negronis.
One more time, what was that?
Negronis.
Okay.
Hearts Gin, Vermouth, Campari.
That's the first one of those giant cocktails we've had so far, so that is awesome. Okay, well, we don't give away anybody's age. You know, we're middle-aged fellas here, but favorite 80s or 90s jam? Because let's face it, the 80s and 90s had the best music since the 50s. So, favorite 80s or 90s jam? Oh, see? Uh-oh, do it again. We lost you on Skype.
Talking Heads.
Talking Heads. All right. Okay. See, he's fun. All right. So, you know, what you like says a lot about you as a guy. Last thing you took a picture of on your phone.
Very illustrative. The fact that I had set up my Skype account and here it was and sent it to your assistant.
His entry into the new millennium is documented.
And that is what middle age means.
And YouTube, you didn't think you knew, but now you do. Well, you are a talented makeup artist and the visual representation of world famous Clone Club from Orphan Black. What is your hidden talent, though? What don't we know about you?
Mixologist.
He's a mixologist. Ooh. All of you millennials, that means great bartender. You got to tell these kids sometimes. You got to, you know. So what's coming down the pipeline for you? Sadly, we know that this season is going to be sad. For the end of this season will be sad for all of us. So what's coming? Yes, I see. What's coming down the pike? What's next?
My glamorous life? I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. I turned down a series last week because it was too hard.
I want to be able to do that. It's too hard. I don't want to do it.
I should not have done that. It was too long, too difficult. The hours were crazy. I said no. And now I'm unemployed. So, yay.
Well, we know you're gonna do great things from the work you've done in the past. I got the card behind the camera as my shut up card. They tell me to shut up when we get chatting too much. Okay, and I'm going to listen to them this time. So as we wrap things up, we want to say thank you to our partners and friends over at Something Unique Magazine, the Florida Book News, Wordfire Press, Space Coast Comics, Famous Faces and Funnies. These are the great folks that share these videos all over the World Wide Web and help us to share our artists and our creators with a larger audience, as large as we can possibly get it when we can. I'm GW Pomacher. We've been hanging with makeup artist, key makeup artist for Orphan Black, Queer as Folk, and Haven for those guys. It's a full gamut, man. You're not genre specific. You're just going to dive in and make them all look good. Loving that. We've been hanging with Stephen Lynch, guys. So remember, keep logging on, keep tuning in, and see who we're hanging with next.